Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Chaitanya Charitāmrita audio class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we are discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are on chapter number 5, the activities of Sakshi Gopal. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is having a tour. He is going from Navadip to Jagannath Puri, and on the way after taking sannyas, Shashi Mata requested him, please don't go to Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan, I'll not be able to see you again. I'll not get any news. So please go to Jagannath Puri. Vrindavan and Jagannath Puri, they are two rooms in the same house. If you go there, I'll get to hear about you also. And then Mahaprabhu, along with Nityanand Prabhu, Mukunda, and Swarup Damodar, they are traveling. And Jagdananda, they are traveling. And they first go to, last chapter was the wonderful pastimes of Lord as at this Khirchor Gopinath Ramana. There, Mahaprabhu recited the whole story of Lord stealing sweet rice for his great devotee Madhavendra Puri. And then he further proceeded. Then he reached this place of Katak. And there, Nityanand Prabhu is now telling the story to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the other devotees. So he described how there were two Brahmanas and they were from Vidyanagar, elder Brahman and younger Brahman. So elder Brahman, he was a very rich person, educated, and younger one was a simple devotee Brahmana, and he decided to assist this elder Brahman because serving devotees is a very, very easy way to please the Lord. So he took him to all the holy places, to Gaya, to uh, Varanasi, and ultimately they reached Vrindavan. And Vrindavan also they went to all the all the 12 forests of Vrindavan, and then they came to Panchakrosha Vrindavan, the place where Govinda Dev temple is there, Kalia Ghat and Keshi Ghat and all those places. There they saw this beautiful temple of Gopalji, and there this Gopalji, there this elder Brahmana, he was very pleased. So he told younger one that I want to give you something in return for all the service you have done to me. So this younger Brahmana, he says, well, I don't want anything in return from you. I have just served you to please the Lord. Older Brahman says, no, no, no. I want to give my daughter in marriage to you because I want to give something. And This younger Brahmana was saying, I am not qualified to take your daughter's hand in marriage. Kanyadana patrami nahai tomar, Krishne pritye kari tomar seva vyavahar. I am not qualified to, marry your daughter. I have just served you to please the Lord. Krishne pritye kari tomar seva vyavahar. Brahmana sevaye Krishna priti bada hoye, tahara santoshe prema sampada bade. When Brahmanas and the devotees are served, Krishna becomes very pleased. So we have discussed till verse number 25. We'll continue from 26. So the elder Brahman says, well, you don't doubt. I give my promise. My daughter is my property. So who can stop me? Younger Brahman said, well, your wife, your sons, they will not agree to it. Elder Brahman said, you don't worry about it. So younger Brahman said, without the consent of your wives, your relatives, your sons, please don't make such statements. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to follow. Bada vipra kahe kanyar mora nij dhan dite, nishedibe konajan. Elder Brahman says, my daughter is my property. Who will stop me? If I have decided to give my daughter to you in marriage, who will stop me? তোমায় কন্যা দিব সবাকে করি তিরস্কার সংশয় না কর তুমি করহ স্বীকার. He says, I will give my daughter to you. Please do not neglect my proposal. I will neglect all the others. You don't worry about it. You don't doubt my words. Please accept my proposal. Younger Brahman, he says, छोटा विप्र कहे यदि कन्या दीते मन गोपालेर आगे कह ए सत्य वचन. The younger Brahman, he says, oh elder Brahman, if you really want to give your daughter to me in marriage, please come in front of this deity of Gopalji and speak these words. So this elder Brahman, he had full conviction. गोपालेर आगे विप्र कहिते लागिला तुमी जाना निज कन्या इहार आमी दिला. So this older Brahmana, he comes in front of the deity of Gopalji and says, my dear Lord, please witness that I have given my daughter to this person. So Prabhupada writes that in older times, it was a custom in India that father, he could give his daughter to somebody just by his words. That is called as Vagdatta. And it was a custom. And nobody would challenge his words. It was Vagdatta. That means the daughter is already given. So this elder Brahman, he said in front of the deity of Gopalji. Prabhupada writes, in India, there was a custom in the old times that if a promise is made before the deity, then it has to be followed. And in the villages or in any places in Vedic times, if there is a quarrel between two parties, they both will go to the temple and they would speak in front of the deity. And whatever they say, it was accepted as truth because nobody would dare to speak lie in front of the deities of the Lord. And Prabhupada says, by not becoming God conscious, human society is deteriorating to lowest standard of animal life. This Krishna consciousness movement is very essential for reviving God consciousness among the general populace. So that was the wonderful, way of solving all the problems. There was no need to go to king and court. It was just solved at a local level. People would just go to temple and they would have wonderful decisions. But the more people are going away from Krishna, the more people are going away from Vedic culture, the more all the faults are coming in the society. And these four legs of religion, they are royally being broken. All the three are almost 3/4 broken. 1/4 is only remaining, all of them. So therefore, In the previous times, it was so easy. There is a research, there is a survey that Indian population is around 133 crores or something, and US population is 33 crores. The number of police stations in US is 18,000. For 33 crore Janta population, 18,000. And Indian population is 133 crores. So according to this, India should have at least 70,000 police stations to maintain the law and order. Interestingly, India has only one. India has only 16,800 something police stations. That's all. That's how. Why? How come? Even with such small number of police stations, we are maintaining law and order. Of course, one may say, well, in US there is more and more law and order than India, but the moral values are, much more rooted still there in India, and it is not as bad as people think because Krishna is there in the center. People still have moral values. People still fear God. Still, the corruption and the suicide rates and depression rates are so very less in India because people are God centered. They have faith in God. They have belief. They have Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will protect us. The more people go away from Krishna, the more there is chaos in the society. So Prabhupada writes, if people actually become God conscious, all quarrels can be settled outside of the court, as happened in the case of the two Brahmanas, whose disagreement was settled by witness Gopal. Witness Gopal means Sakshi Gopal. So after this elder Brahmana says these words, the younger Brahmana, am I audible properly? And somebody put on, okay, thank you. So the younger Brahmana, he says, Chota Vipra bole Thakur, Tumi Mora Sakshi, Toma Sakshi Bolaimu Yadi Anyatha Dekhi. So now the younger Brahmana, he goes in front of the deity and he says, Oh my dear Lord, Thakur, Tumi Mora Sakshi, you are my witness. I shall call you to rectify if it is necessary later on. That was a faith this younger Brahmana had. He was actually, both were great devotees of the Lord. Prabhupada writes in one of the future purports that both were true, pure Vaishnavas, had such faith in the Lord. So, younger Brahmana, he also told the Lord, I'll call you if needed. Please be ready to come. And then after these talks, the two Brahmanas, they started for home. And then younger Brahmana, as usual, he was serving the elder one all the way as they were coming back from Vrindavan to Vidyanagar. And then they both went to their villages. And now, after some time, this older Brahmana, he became very anxious. He was thinking, I have given my word to this younger Brahmana. I have to disclose it now. I have to, I have to tell this to my relatives. Otherwise, it will be sinful. I'll become implicated. So he called for a meeting and he narrated what, just put it above. So he narrated what had happened in Vrindavan. He told to all his relatives, his son, his wife. And as soon as the family members heard that, there was a great exclamation of disagreement. Oh, it is not possible. They all started making a hue and cry. He says, you please don't make such proposal again. We cannot give our daughter to this younger Brahmana. And the relatives, they said, if you offer your daughter to this younger Brahmana from a degraded family, Your aristocracy will be lost, your reputation will be lost, and when people will hear, they will make fun of you, they'll joke on you. Elder Brahmana, he says, Vipra bole tirtha vakya ke mone koriyan, ye hauka se hauka ami dibe kanyadan. The elder Brahman says, I have made a statement in a holy place of Vrindavan. Whatever is going to happen, let it happen. I don't care. I will give my daughter to this younger Brahmana in marriage for sure. And he says, then as he said this, all the relatives, they started saying, Jati lok kohe mora toma ke chhadiba, stri putra kahe vish khaya mariba. Usual hue and cry started. The relatives, they said, if you do this, we will give all our relationship with you. You will be outcast. And son and wives, they were saying, we will die, we'll take poison and we will commit suicide. So the elder Brahman says, if I don't fulfill my words, that Brahmana will call Sakshi Gopal. Vipra bole Sakshi bolaiya karibe ka nyaye. Jiti kanya labe mura vyartha dharma hai. He will call Gopalji and as a witness, and he will take my daughter away by force. So what will happen in that case? My all religious principles will be destroyed. What to do? That was the faith of older Brahmana. He knew that Gopalji will come. It is a faith a devotee has in the words of God, in the words of scriptures. Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Vrajendra Nandan. That is a faith a devotee should have in the process of Krishna consciousness. That is called as Nishchay. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna iti Vishwas Palan. Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction about Utsaha, Nishchay, Dhairya. Nishchay means the confidence in 6 things. Perfection. Bhakti is perfect. In protection of the Lord. In the profit. It is the most profitable path. It is purest path. It is most productive. So that's how Krishna consciousness is. And all these create faith and confidence. Whatever may happen, I will surely cross this ocean of material existence. Etam sasthaya paratmanishta adhyasitam purvatamay maharshibhi aham tarishyami duranta param tamo mukundangri nishevayeva. This is a verse spoken by Avanti Brahman. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he quoted this verse when he took sannyas. Etam sa asthaya. I have this faith. Paratmanishta, I have faith in the words of predecessor acharyas. Adhyasitam purvatamai maharshibhi. All the great souls of the past, they have traversed this path of great souls of the past have, traversed this path of bhakti. I will also follow them. And aham tarishyami duranta param. Surely I will cross. Tamo mukundangri nishe, because I have taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So that is the faith that devotee should have. This elder Brahmana had faith that Krishna will come for sure. It was not a theory for them. Maybe, I don't know if Lord will come or not. He had complete faith. And that's the difference between a sadhaka and a pure devotee. A pure devotee, he had no doubt about it, the existence of the Lord and protection of the Lord. Sadhakas, many times they get deluded, confused about the protection of the Lord, and that's why we become fearful, we become confused, we become really disturbed when our anarthas overwhelm us. So this elder Brahman says he will call son. He was a pakka atheist, son of this Brahman. Putra bole pratima sakshi seha dur deshe ke tomara sakshi dibe chinta karo kise. He says, Are Pratima is at Vrindavan. How he will come to give witness here? Why are you so worried about? That is the atheistic mentality. No faith in the deity of the Lord. And then he says, you don't have to flatly deny. You know what you have to say? You just tell when that younger Brahman comes, just tell him you don't remember what you said. That's it. And later I'll take care. You don't worry about it. If you just say, I don't remember, I will take care of the remaining things. By argument, I'll defeat that person. Don't worry about it. Prabhupada writes, the son of this Brahmana was a pakka atheist. He was an atheist and a follower of Raghunath Smriti. He was very expert in dealings with pounds, shillings, pence. But he was a fool number one. Why fool number one? Because he did not believe in the spiritual position of the deity. He was thinking, this is made a deity's stone. How deity will come? Therefore, as a typical idol worshipper, he considered the form of the Lord to be made up of stone or wood. So therefore, he assured that how will deity come here and how will deity speak? So why are you so worried? So he was saying, have no anxiety. You don't have to lie directly. You should speak like diplomat. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj was told by Krishna, you don't have to tell Krishna that Ashwathama is dead. You just speak a lie in a diplomatic way. Ashwathama hata iti gajaha. I don't know that Ashwathama is dead. Whether he was your son or an elephant, I don't know. So that's how you have to say. When Elder Brahmana heard this, he was really sad, morose. He was very disturbed. But he was helpless. He wanted his relatives to also survive, and he was in an utter desperate situation because he didn't want his words to go wrong. Mora dharma raksha paye namare nij jan dui raksha kar gopal loinu sharan. So that is a symptom of a devotee. He turned his attention towards Gopalji. He says, "O Gopalji, please show mercy, protect my religious principles and protect my family members also. Moro dharma raksha hoye namare nijajan." So therefore, please protect these two things. Dui raksha kara. I have taken your shelter. That's how a devotee is. A devotee takes shelter of the Lord in all situations. All situations. Not just for spiritual welfare, but material welfare also. So this elder Brahmana is asking for his relatives' good health, well-being. Please protect them also. That doesn't make him a lesser devotee. The pure devotional service definition is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Why Anya Abhilashita? Why not Anya Abhilasha? Because Rupa Goswami, he has chosen this word very precisely. It includes self-preservation and protection of the near and dear ones. Just like Uttara, when she saw that this Brahmastra is coming and that Brahmastra is burning her son, she goes to Krishna, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyatvat Abhayam Pashya Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Oh Mahayogi, please protect my child. I don't see anyone who can help me in this situation. That doesn't make her a lesser devotee. So therefore, this elder Brahmana is taking shelter of Krishna in all situations. That is called as Ananya Gatitvam. I can't go anywhere, oh my Lord. Just like a small child, he has no shelter apart from mother. For everything, he depends on his mother. For food, for his well-being, for clothing, for entertainment also. He will play with the mother only. Everything he will do with the mother. So he's requesting, he prayed to the Lord, please, I am taking your shelter. After a few days, next day itself, the elder Brahmana, he sees that the younger Brahmana has come. He offers his obeisances, humbly folds his hands, and he submits his request. He says, O elder Brahmana, you have promised to give your daughter, when you are in Vrindavan, you have promised. I have not received any information, any news. What is happening? What is your conclusion? So as this young Brahman says this, the son of this elder Brahman takes a stick in his hand, and he immediately, runs behind this younger Brahman to hit him. The elder Brahman remained silent. Seeing this younger Brahman, he had no option, and he had to run away. Son, he was shouting, "You are so degraded! You want to marry my sister? I know what you have done. You know, just like a dwarf wants to catch a moon, you want to marry my sister." And he ran behind him to hit him. Younger Brahman, he ran away. Next day, he went to all the senior members of the village. He called for all the people. They gathered there, and he described the whole story. The elders of the village, they called this elder Brahmana, and in front of everyone, this younger Brahman, he started saying, this gentleman has promised to give his daughter to me in marriage, and till now he's not done anything, and he's not following his promise. Please ask why he's doing like this. All the people, they asked the question to this elder Brahman, what is the matter? Why are you not fulfilling your promise? If you have already promised to give your daughter in charity, why you are not giving him now? Elder Brahmana, he was so fearful of his relatives and his son. He says, oh, my dear friends, please remember, please hear, I do not remember actually what I said. I can't remember what I promised. So as this elder Brahman said this, the younger Brahman, he took the opportunity and he stood there very impudently and he spoke. Oh, learned assembly, please hear. While touring all the holy places with my father, this young person, he gave him an intoxicant like Dhatura, and he deluded my father's intelligence. And he took away all the money, and he, made my father speak this. He was not in his proper condition. So therefore, now he is claiming that he wants my sister's hand in marriage. All of you are very gentlemen assembly. Please decide. Please judge. Should I give my sister to this person in marriage who has behaved in such a wrong way with my father? So when people, they heard this statement, they started really wondering. Because, when it comes to money, anyone can get deviated. It is very common to get attracted by money and give up all the religious principles. At that time, the younger Brahmana, he said, oh, dear gentlemen, please hear. This man, the son of this elder Brahmana, he is lying. I had no intention of getting anything from this elder Brahman. In fact, it was the Brahman himself, this elder Brahman. He gave promise. I was satisfied serving him. That's what he told in Vrindavan also. Kanyadana patra ami na hui tomar, Krishne pritye kori tomar seva vyavahar. ब्राह्मण सेवाए कृष्णेर प्रीति बड़ होए, तहार संतोषे प्रेम संपद बढ़े. So he's telling the same thing again, that I was satisfied serving this elder Brahmana, but out of his own accord, he promised, I'll give my daughter to you. I warned him that your son, your family, relatives, they will not agree to this proposal. But still, he said, who can stop me? I warned him that you are a learned person, you are a rich person, and I'm a poor beggar, poor person, uneducated. This match is very difficult. Still, this learned person, he didn't listen to me. He persisted. And he said, I will give you my daughter. And please accept my proposal. So what can be done? I again and again told him, please don't do this. He said, please do not hesitate. My daughter is my property. I am giving my words. Who will stop me? So this elder Brahman, younger Brahman is speaking all that. And then I told him that if you're really giving your daughter to me in marriage, you have to, make a vow in front of Gopalji. So this gentleman, he came in front of the Lord and he, took a vow in front of the Lord. So all of you now decide. And I had requested Gopalji, Tomake bulaimu, I'll call you if there is a need in future. So now, यदि यही विप्रमुर ना दिवे कन्यादान साक्षी बुलाइमु तमाय हयो सावधान. He's telling all the people, I had told the Gopalji there, I shall call you if this Brahmana later hesitates in giving me his daughter. এই वाक्य साक्षी मोर आछे महाजन यार वाक्य सत्य करी माने त्रिभुवन. Thus, I have called upon the great personality in this transaction. I have asked the Supreme Lord to be my witness. Ei vakye sakshi mora ache mahajan. Mahajan means the Supreme Personality. He is my sakshi. He is my witness. Yar vakya satya kari mane tribhuvan. Entire world accepts the words of the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada writes, although the young Brahman described himself as having no claims to aristocracy and being an uneducated man, still he had one good qualification. He believed that Supreme Personality of Godhead was the topmost authority. He accepted the words of Krishna without hesitation, and he had firm faith in Lord's consistency. That's a faith a devotee should have. That is the treasure. The biggest treasure a devotee has is not the assets of the world, not the wealth, not prestige, not fame. The biggest wealth a devotee has, the currency which a devotee wants to acquire, the dhan, is the currency of faith. Shraddha mulye shuddha naam seihate te bikai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Surabhi kunje te namer hat che. He says, Lord Chaitanya has opened a marketplace of holy names in Surabhi Kunj. And there, the faith is the currency. You have to pay to get that Shuddha Naam. And there he says that you buy and I will become the agent. I'll get my credit. I'll also get benefited. So if you want to buy this holy name, Shuddha Naam, only currency is faith. The devotee is not interested in earning and becoming a billionaire in the materialistic world. If somebody is billionaire, no problem. But the actual wealth which a devotee wants to acquire is the wealth of faith. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in Bhaktya Loka Enthusiasm is the life of Shraddha. And how to make this Shraddha very lively? By being enthusiastic in the process of Krishna consciousness. So this younger Brahmana, he had that faith in the words of the Lord, faith in the consistency. Prabhupada writes, consistency of the Lord. What is the consistency? Lord never ever fails in protecting his devotees and protecting the words of his devotees. That's why Lord told Arjuna, na, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashiti. He would have said himself. Why he had to tell Arjuna? Because Krishna knew, I may give up my promise, but if my devotee promises, I can never break the words of my devotee. So that's how he had faith in Lord's consistency. When Gajendra, he prayed to the Lord, Madrek prapanna pashupasha vimokshanaya muktaya bhuri karunaya namolayaya Swamshena sarvatanu hrinmanasi pratita pratyagdrishe bhagavate brihate namaste. Oh my Lord, I am bound in this Pashupash. You are mukta, you are liberated, you are free. Please free me. Lord may say, why I should free you? You are Bhuri Karuna, you are most merciful to your devotees. Lord may say, well, now I am little lazy. You are all you are never lazy in protecting your devotees. You never delay. Again and again, throughout the history of the universe, Lord has proven by his actions that he never ever fails in protecting devotees. That is the consistency of the Lord. We ordinary living entities, we have failed to fulfill our promise. The Lord, he never ever fails in protecting his devotees. He can give up all his reputation to protect his devotees. Prabhupada writes, a pure devotee who has firm faith in the words of Supreme Lord is to be considered the most learned scholar, the topmost aristocrat, and the richest man in the world. That is the currency, that is the greatest wealth a devotee has. Otherwise, anything of this world is of no use. Shvishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo avichyato artha kavibhar nirupito yaduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. If somebody is tapasvino, danapara, yashasvino, manasvino, mantravido, sumangala, if somebody is great, tapasvi, manasvi, jnana, if he is not offering that in service of the Lord, what is the use of all that? If somebody is expert in chanting Vedic hymns, Swishtasya, Suktasya, very intelligent, if he is not offering to Krishna, what is the use of that? So the real wealth is having that faith. That person is the topmost scholar, one who knows Krishna. Krishna say bhaje je bada chatur. The most intelligent person is one who worships Krishna. Yajnai sankirtana pyaraye yajantihi sumedhasaha. The most intelligent person worships Krishna in Kali Yuga by chanting of the names of the Lord. The topmost aristocrat, richest man in the world. Akinchana vittaya, the person who is akinchana, who has no material possessions or no possessive mentality. The real wealth of the devotee is Krishna. That is the real wealth. And that's what we are trying to acquire. Prabhupada writes, even though we are neither a rich man or a very learned scholar, even though we do not belong to any aristocracy, this movement is still being welcomed and is easily spreading all over the world. Although we are very poor and have no professional source of income, Krishna supplies money whenever we need it. Whenever we need some men, Krishna supplies them. That is a faith Prabhupada had. Prabhupada is speaking his own story. He came all the way from India he went all the way from India to America with nothing. Just 40 rupees. That also he came back with. He didn't spend those 40 rupees. He had faith. Faith is the only currency which is needed. Whatever Shraddha, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas kahe Sudrida Nishchay Krishne Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krit hoye. Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita verse Yam labdva cha param labham manyatena dukham tatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena guruna pi vichalyate. Yam labdva, after attaining this, aparam labham na manyate adhikam. After achieving this Krishna consciousness, everything else becomes useless, doesn't attract a devotee. Krishna pad padma gandha jai jan paye brahma lok adi sukh tare nahi bhaye. One who has tasted the beauty of Krishna, one who has, heard the flute of Krishna, how can he get attracted to anything else of the world? How can he get attracted to any beauty of the world? That was the position of the gopis. That is the position of the great acharyas. They are not attracted by the glamour of the world. One time devotees, they brought Miss Mexico to meet Prabhupada as a PR activity. And this lady, she was meeting devotees and, in a typical style, she was, posing for photographs and autographs. She met Prabhupada and then she was talking to Prabhupada and Prabhupada was not at all impressed. And as she was going, she said, "Thank you, Swamiji, I'll come back again." And Prabhupada dropped the bomb, said, "Why will you come again?" She was a little surprised. Nobody had asked this question to her any time in the history. Prabhupada said, "Why will you come again?" So she was clueless. "Have you read Bhagavad Gita?" She said, "No." "Then why will you come again?" "Are you interested in God?" She said, she was confused. "Why will you come again? If you have not read Bhagavad Gita, if you are not interested in reading scriptures, why will you come again?" And then she became humble. And then she tells Swamiji, "Please tell me what should I do?" And then Prabhupada gave her half an hour of talk. So Prabhupada and pure devotees, they're not impressed by the glamour of the world. Yam labdhva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. If somebody has Krishna, all the other problems of the world don't, trouble that devotee much. Yasmin sthito na, after being situated in Krishna consciousness, na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Na vichalyate, even if there is intense trouble, undisturbed. So this Brahmana had such faith. He said, "I have called for the great personality. I believe in his words." So now taking the opportunity, the son of this elder Brahmana, immediately confirmed, yes, whatever he is saying is right. If Gopal comes personally and gives a witness, I'll surely give my daughter to him. This son of this elderly Brahmana, he also immediately confirmed, yes, this is nice settlement. Prabhupada writes, just see, as a super soul, Krishna knows everyone's desires, everyone's requests, and everyone's prayers. Very wonderful statement. As super soul, Krishna knows everyone's desires, everyone's requests, and everyone's prayers. And sometimes all these may be temporary or contradictory. Contradictory. Somebody may be praying, "Oh my Lord, I want to become a billionaire." Other person may be praying, "Let this person become a beggar." They are contradictory prayers. But Lord is expert in creating a situation where both of them will be satisfied. And that's what Lord did in this situation also. The elder Brahmana, he said, Oh yes, if Gopalji comes and gives witness, I'll surely give my daughter. Because he had faith that surely Gopalji is going to come. No doubt about it. And the son said, yes, yes, pakka, first class settlement. Aayenge to 100% will give our sister. Because he knew that aane nahi hai, kaise aayenge? Now how he will come? DT cannot walk, DT cannot speak, he is strong. You know, it's Prabhupada writes. The father and the son were thinking in a contradictory way, yet Krishna created a situation wherein both agreed. Now, the elder Brahmana, what he is thinking, Kaviraj Goswami writes, Bada Viprera Mane Krishna, Bada Dayavan, Avashya Mora Vakyate Ho Karibe Praman. The elder Brahmana thought, Krishna is very merciful, Krishna Bada Dayavan. For surely he will come to prove my statement. He had that faith. And atheistic son, what he was thinking? Putrera mane pratima na sakshi di na asibe sakshi dite e buddhe duijan hoila sammate. And the son was thinking, Are, how will the deity come and give witness? So both of them agreed. Young Brahmana, he had no faith now. He said, Write it down. Yeah, whatever all these people are saying, write down. I don't want to take any risk. So he called for people and paper, pen, and they wrote down what they have, decided. If Gopalji comes and bears witness, this person will give his daughter to me in marriage. Both of them settled, signatures were done, and Gopalji, and then this younger Brahmana, he said, now, what this younger Brahmana is saying is amazing. That shows how mature this younger Brahmana is. He is not criticizing this elder Brahmana for speaking, diplomatic words. He says, please listen to me, oh gentlemen. This elderly Brahman is certainly truthful and is following religious principles. That is the maturity this younger Brahmana had. He's not blaming and condemning this elder Brahmana because of you I have to undergo all this. That is called as such a sensitive behavior. He knows what this elder Brahmana is going through. He tells this elder Brahmana he is truthful and is following religious principles. Actually, he had no desire to break his promise, but what to do? Because of his kinsmen, his relatives, and his sons, they have threatened him. So he has deviated from truth. They have told he'll die, he'll commit suicide. And then another wonderful thing he said. He is not having this pride, I will go and call Supreme Lord. A devotee, he is always humble. And that is what this younger Brahmana is, showing here. He says, Ihara punya krishnayani sakshi bolaiba tabe viprera satya pratigya rakhiba. Wonderfully, he says, by the piety of this elderly Brahmana, I shall call the Supreme Lord. Krishna will not come because I am calling him. I am a small person. Who am I to call Krishna? But this elder Brahmana is such a great devotee of the Lord. By his devotion, Lord will come. I'll call Krishna on his behalf. And then he will come to keep his promise intact. That is the greatness of the young Brahman. He's not saying, I will call Krishna by my devotion. He's saying, I'll call Krishna on the name of this elder Brahman's devotion to protect his prestige, his reputation, his religious principles. Lord will surely come. He made that statement. And hearing such emphatic statement from this Brahmana, some of the people started laughing. Oh, how this deity will come. But those who had faith, They said, yes, if Lord likes, he can come. What is a big thing for the Lord to do? Lord can come. Now, after speaking this young Brahman, he started again from Vidyanagar to Vrindavan, maybe 3-4 months of travel. Walking he has to go. Not that अभी ट्रेन बुक करो चलो हम लोग जाते हैं वृंदावन और फ्लाइट से चले जाते हैं. No, walking all the way back to Vrindavan. He reached Vrindavan, came to this temple of Gopalji, offered his obeisances, sat in front of the deity, and spoke everything in detail. And then he said, Brahmanya Deva Tumi Bada Dayamay Dui Viprera Dharma Rakha Haya Sadai. He says, O Brahmanya Dev, O Lord, O my Lord, you are protector of the Brahminical culture. You are very merciful, Mahadayamay. Please protect the religious principles of both of us. Dui Viprera Dharma Rakha Haya Sadai. Please be merciful and please protect our words. Kanya, now again this young Brahman is telling to the Lord, Kanya Paba Mura Mana Iha Nahi Sukh Brahmanera Pratigyaya Yei Bada Dukha. Again and again he is telling, I don't want this, daughter of this elder Brahmana. That I have no attachment for that. I am not hankering to get her hand. You know why I have come all the way? Itna mehnat karke kyun aaya? I don't want material things. I just want that this Brahmana's promise should be kept intact. Brahmane pratigyaya ei bada dukh. It'll be great pain for me. Prabhupada writes, it was not for that reason that the young Brahman went to Vrindavan to ask Supreme Lord as a witness. It was not for getting his daughter in marriage. No. His only concern was that elderly Brahmana had promised something, and if Gopalji doesn't come to give witness, his words will be broken. He'll get implicated. He'll become, sinful for not following his words. And he will get spiritual, he'll incur spiritual blemish. It will be offense on his behalf. Eta jani tumi sakshi deha dayamay jani sakshi nahi deo tara papa hoy. Now, another interesting thing he's saying. He says, oh my Lord, you know all this situation, right? And you are very merciful. You know everything. You are very merciful. Please come and give witness. And then he says, a person who knows things as they are, but still does not give witness becomes involved in sinful activity. So now we may say, well, what is this happening? This young Brahman is telling the Lord, you will become sinful. Prabhupada clarifies. The dealings between the devotee and the Lord are very simple. Actually, Lord can never get implicated in sinful activity. But a pure devotee, he can speak with the Lord just like a common man. That is the rasa the pure devotee has. One should not imitate such activities. Pure devotees, they have certain relationship with the Lord. They can even chastise the Lord, just like in Vrindavan we hear the stories. Gopis would chastise Krishna. Krishna, if you don't do this, you'll get and they tempt Krishna. If you dance, I'll give you sweet. If you sing, I'll give you butter. And Krishna would dance and sing. They would stick to Krishna and Krishna would become fearful. Gopi bhi stobito nrityat Bhagavan balavachpachit Udgayati kvachan mugdhas tadvasho daru yantravat. He was wooden doll in their hands. The Gopas would climb on the shoulders of Krishna and would defeat Krishna. तुम ही कौन है बड़े लोग, तुम ही मतलब what kind of big person you are? Yesterday only I defeated you. No, one should not imitate such pastimes. These are pure devotees. They have different rasa. So Supreme Lord, when he heard this whole story, he said, "Oh my dear Brahmana, you go back home. You call all the people in the village, gather them in assembly, and remember me. I will appear and give witness. हो जाएगा solve problem." So young Brahman said, "No, my lord. Even if you appear in Chaturbhuj Rupa, they will not believe." विप्र बोले यदि हो चतुर्भुज मूर्ति तबु तुम्हार वाक्य करू न हबे प्रतीति. They will not believe even if you appear in Chaturbhuj. You have to come in the same form as Gopalji. Same deity you have to come with me. He says, only if you go in this form of Gopalji and speak the words with your beautiful mouth, then they'll believe your words. Now, what Krishna says, that we'll be discussing tomorrow, next week. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Chaitanya Charitāmrita ki jai.